up, everybody? Maik Wiedenbach here from New York City. Today we are venturing into the dark side of bodybuilding, steroids, namely Dianabol. I got so many emails and questions about it. I finally surrendered, and here is my DBOL video. What is DBOL? Well, DBOL is the one time when the government got stuff right. Well, let's backpedal into the 40s. The Soviets had stolen Nazi technology in regards to injectable testosterone, and they were running the playing field in terms of weightlifting, powerlifting, shot put. They were winning every competition. So at some point the Americans wised up and said, wait a minute, that's unfair, we need something. So the US government gave money to Dr. John Ziegler with the explicit order, and I quote, to create a drug that enhances the performance of athletes. And that he did. He gave us Dianabol, or methandrolone, which is basically methylated testosterone. Methylated means that there is a 17A alpha carbon ring around it, so that it doesn't get destroyed when you take it in your liver. So it was the first oral steroid, and then from there on the floodgates opened. Does it work? Have you seen Arnold? I mean, he was known for his DBOL consumption. The breakfast of champions, it was called back then. So DBOL is a crude yet very effective steroid in terms of mass gain, strength gain, overall well-being. It is pretty much untouchable. So people that use it, they gain up to 5-6 pounds in the first week. Granted, some of that is water. Their strength goes up, and they feel better about themselves. Fantastic! I'm going to use this all year. That's like the best thing ever, right? Well, there are problems with it. So it works really well in terms of, like I said, protein synthesis and nitrogen retention. So there is definitely muscle growth and strength. There's no question about it. The downside is there's obviously HPTA shutdown of your own testosterone. There is the problem with the liver, which we get to later. Then another issue is that it's somewhat estrogenic, so you will need to have either like something like letrozole or Arimidex or Nolva at hand to prevent those issues. And the other thing is that it absolutely wrecks your good cholesterol, which can then produce problems with the heart. So that needs to be taken into account. How do people use it? Well, so DBOL is a very widely available steroid. It's hardly being forged or counterfeit because it is so cheap that there's no point in faking it. You might just make as much money, right? So it's not really a problem getting it. There's two ways people use it. The idiotic way and the somewhat smarter way. The idiotic way is using it by itself, right? So people, because of they don't want to use needles or whatever, use it as a standalone steroid. That is not a good idea for two reasons. It has a short half-life, so you have to take multiple doses during the day to avoid big peaks, which most people are not capable of. And in order to build substantial muscle, you just have to use drugs for 10 weeks or maybe 12. DBOL is too liver toxic to do this. So the smart way to use it is you're using it to boost or jumpstart a cycle of a longer acting drug such as testosterone enanthate or testosterone enanthate and decadurabolin. DBOL is a pure mass and bulking steroid. It gives you a somewhat watery appearance, so if you're getting ready for a show or so, that's not your steroid to use. So that is how it should be used. Now the big question is, should you use it? So here comes my moralizing speech. Steroids should only be used for people who are actually good at this. So whether it's my old background, swimming or bodybuilding or track and field or whatever, steroids will not elevate your performance to Superman. They can take you from being very good to great, but not from here to here. So in other words, if you're right now at the I suck level, then they're just gonna take you to I suck a little bit less, but I ruined my liver for that. Is that really worth it? As a vague rule of thumb, if you cannot incline bench your body weight, squat your body weight times 1.5, and deadlift around 2 times your body weight, you have no business even contemplating any type of steroid. So, I know the reality is different. There are more users than ever, but there are not more good bodies. If you're using DBOL or any other oral steroid, you cannot, absolutely not, drink alcohol, use Tylenol, or use recreational drugs. There are so many people that go clubbing, use party drugs, alcohol, and then they wonder when there are complications with the liver, the heart. So, if you go down that route, you must pick your poison, okay? So if you're saying, I'm doing a steroid cycle, then that's what you're doing, okay? You cannot add other drugs to that and expect to get away with it clean. It will just not happen. So, cliff notes. DBOL was the first oral steroid available. It is extremely effective, but it has its share of side effects. It should not be used as a standalone. And like any drug, it should only be used by people who are actually good at what they're doing. With that, I leave you in the weekend. Maik out.